This guy that has been stalking my life. He's like a famous photographer from LA, whatever. We were talking, but I was just being friendly. And then I post my daughter. Obviously, everyone knows I have a child. And he just comments under one of my pictures and is like, "You have a kid? Surprise or something?" Yes, I have a child and she's my whole world. And she's not just my kid. I don't know if you guys think that's offensive. I kind of think sounds offensive.
You gotta love how all of these wannabe influencer women think that everybody knows the details of their life, anyone actually cares. So many of these women, they think that they're so much more important than they actually are. And this woman is going to go on in a second and explain how the reason why men aren't taking her seriously and dating sucks is because men are scared, right? Men are just terrified. You don't want responsibility. They're just cowards. They don't want to date women with children because we're just cowards. So let's jump in, guys. We've got a couple of clips that we're going to be covering here today. We've also got this woman. Without further ado, let's continue. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Like the way he put it. This is why dating's so bad right now, and I hear this from everyone. Men get scared. They get scared of women that have children, that have careers, that have homes, that stand their ground, that are independent. That scares them.
This choice of the word scared is a really funny one because I don't know a single man who is scared of these things. Men are not scared. They just don't want to date you. Every single time I will hear one of these videos and it's something like, men are scared of me, men are intimidated by me, or some sort of shaming language, and this is why men don't want to date me. But the truth of the matter is that men don't want to date you because you're a pain in the backside and he doesn't want to look after a kid that is not his own. These women make it everybody else's responsibility but their own to actually take care of the kids that they chose to have. So many of these women will try and claim that they're victims and all of this nonsense, guys, but the fact of the matter is they chose to get with these dudes. Now the father is no longer in the picture, either because she kicked him out or because he didn't want to be there anymore. There's no accountability whatsoever.
They get scared of women that have children, that have careers, that have homes, that stand their ground, that are independent. That scares them.
I also want to say this. No man gives a damn if you have property. No man gives a damn if you have a career or if you have some sort of doctorate, right, or PhD or any of these degrees. Nobody cares. This is not something, these women think that men behave like them, right, that we care about this superficial crap, but we actually don't. Again, I don't know a single guy who is impressed by these things, who is out here dating, who is looking for a career woman. These women have it so damn backwards. Men don't want to date strong, independent career women with kids. It's not because they're scared. These women conflate being scared with just not wanting to talk with them because men don't like you.
Is it not normal for women in their 30s, 40s, 50s to have kids? To me, it sounds normal. If you want to date a woman that has no baggage or whatever, just lets you do whatever you want, doesn't really care, is easygoing, go date a 20-year-old.
You know what? I actually agree with this woman. A lot of women these days who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they all have children, and they couldn't make it work with the father of their kids. They have absolutely and utterly failed. There are so many women out there who are dating, who have children, have been divorced, and all of this nonsense, and men don't want any part in it. Men have decided to walk away and say, thank you. I'm not really interested in dealing with this crap. And the men, this woman is actually correct. You know what the men do? They either leave the country or they just date younger women if they can. Right? They will go after women who are 20 to 25 and they're not dating 30-plus-year-old single boss babe career women, quote unquote. They don't want to date you.
Doesn't really care, is easygoing. Go date a 20-year-old.
You know what else is really funny about this? This woman's sitting here and she's saying, listen, if you don't want to be nagged all day, if you want a woman who's actually easygoing and who will let you do the things that you want to do, then go and date a 20-year-old. So the opposite, right? If you want a woman who tells you what to do, right, who acts as your second boss, who's a complete headache, then hey guys, just date 30-plus-year-old women. I couldn't have said it better myself. No man wants to be micromanaged and told what he can and cannot do. It's ridiculous. Men have to bring so much to the table to even be considered by a lot of these entitled women for a relationship, and then the women have the ego to sit there and say, think that they should be able to tell the man in the relationship what to do. Isn't that crazy to think about, guys? Men have to bring so much to the table. They bring it to the table, and they're still treated like a second-class citizen. And then these women wonder why men don't want to date them.
Most 20-year-olds don't have kids. They don't really know what they're doing yet. I'm saying all, I'm saying a lot. They're not going to expect much from you. It's not going to be that serious. And that's what men are scared of. Commitment, settling down, being serious, dating someone as a child, dating someone that has a career.
See, again, this whole scared thing, there are lots of guys who would actually really like a relationship, wouldn't mind getting married one day. But the problem is marriage is now a trap for men. That's number one. And number two, these men who are looking for long-term relationships and who want something serious, they don't want it with you. And also, so many modern women aren't even deserving of that in the first place. Okay, a lot of guys, when they're looking for long-term serious relationships, they're not looking at women like you, who have a ridiculous amount of plastic surgery, who have all of this nonsense going on with kids and this attitude. Can you guys imagine for a moment actually living with this woman? How much of, I swear to you guys, if I lived with this woman, I would probably age 20 years and probably 2 years. I don't know, I feel like all of my hair would fall out relatively instantly, and I would just go a little bit insane. Because we are what, like 2 minutes into this video, maybe even a minute, 2 minutes into this video, and it's just absolute nonsense the whole damn time.
It's not going to be that serious. And that's what men are scared of. Commitment, settling down, being serious, dating someone as a child, dating someone that has a career, because they want to be not too serious, too tied down, and they don't want someone to have those expectations of them. And women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, we know exactly what we want because we've been through relationships. And if we don't get what we want, we walk away. Simply, we don't have time to waste. And
so now that we're 30, 40, and 50, we know what we want. We're very serious, and we won't accept anything less than the utmost of commitment from men. I just want to first point out that this is a lie, because these women will still chase bad boys, will still give these men 9 months of their time and all of this stuff. What they're really complaining about here is that they can't actually get these relationships, right? This is a problem. And this is the problem that has been plaguing modern women for quite some time now, which is that they can go out here, they can get their bedroom fun, they can do all of this degenerate crap, they can go out there, they can party, they can wear whatever they want on Instagram because they're empowered. They can do whatever it is that they like to do. But the problem is when reality kicks your backside, when you reach 30 years of age, now we start crying, now we start making these TikToks, now we start blaming men, we start shaming men. Not once do we ever ask what men might want. And the only capacity, by the way, to which these women ask what men might want is how they can please attractive men more. Right? Maybe if I just wear this thing and look better for him here, maybe he'll choose me. These women have it so damn backwards. None of them have any feminine characteristics whatsoever, and then they're wondering why men don't choose them. Isn't that crazy to think about, guys? That's like men walking around in high heels being like, yo, I don't know why some model won't choose me for a relationship. You see what I'm saying? It's really delusional when you switch the genders, but these women just don't see it.
Play these little games, so end of my rant.
This is
right. So that's the end of the rant that this woman has had. Now we have a couple more women here. Maybe we'll continue into this next one. So all of these women here, this woman here, and I don't know if we'll continue to this woman here just yet, but they all have a problem with hookup culture. Now let me just say before we continue this, that all of these women could end hookup culture, but they don't. They have too much fun with Chad. They have too much fun with the bad boys who discontinue it. They always complain and cry about it, but they'll still continue to do it. They match with these attractive guys on Instagram, or on like Tinder, Bumble, whatever application is out these days, they match with these guys. They just complain when they can't get a relationship. Hilarious. So let's continue into this next one here. The problem with hookup culture, and let's take a listen.
Hookup culture. We are biologically hardwired to be together. Unpopular opinion, but friends with benefits does not work. When you're that intimate with someone for an extended period of time, at some point, someone is going to want more, especially for women, because during sex, our brains release oxytocin, so we feel closer to that person. We intrinsically want to be together, to build connections with other people, both physically and emotionally.
First of all, as far as I understand it, both genders release oxytocin, but the difference is the woman typically gets attached because she's typically chasing out of her league. All of these girls, what they do is they jump on the dating applications, they go after the really attractive men, they get with that dude, and then they wonder why he won't turn around and commit to them. And he has plenty of other women who are more pleasant to be around. That's just the end of the story right there. They're always like, man, why is it that women always fall in love? And why is it that women are always the one getting heartbroken? I talk to my girlfriends all the time, and they all say the same thing. Because you're all chasing the same group of men. That's exactly why.
A lot of the time, people who are slutty, it usually stems from something that happened to them in their past. That the only way they could feel validation or love was through sex. So don't judge people for being slutty, because it's never that simple. But
guys, don't judge us. Hey, you want to wife up a woman that wears nothing on Instagram, that's a great idea. You shouldn't judge people. Judgment is awful. How about we apply this logic to people that commit serious crimes? You guys, you can't judge people for committing serious crimes because they probably went through something in childhood. I'm sorry, I'm still going to judge them. If somebody robs me, you know what I'm saying? We still charge them. We still talk to the police. I'm not getting robbed just because of your feelings, because you don't want to be judged. This is the kind of nonsense, guys, that is trying to be sold to men, is that you're not allowed to judge anything. You're not allowed to make judgments. Not allowed to understand the discrepancies. You just have to accept whatever it is that you're given. No, thank you, madam.
it's usually the result of some underlying emotional reason, or a feeling of loneliness or lack of self-value that they somehow convince themselves of. And
guys, if somebody burgles you or smashes the windshield of your car, you shouldn't really judge them because maybe they feel lonely, right? And this is the kind of nonsense that I'm talking about, is somebody does X action or chooses to do something with themselves, and then we're not allowed to judge them because they went through something hard in their life. Newsflash, lady, pretty much everybody has been through something difficult in their life. At the end of the day, what you are making is decisions. If I go through something bad in my life, that doesn't mean that I have to go out here and do bad things to people or portray myself in a certain way, because I'm still an adult and I have a choice. These people take no accountability for anything, right?
it's usually the result of some underlying emotional reason, or a feeling of loneliness or lack of self-value that they somehow convince themselves of. And I don't mean having a hoe phase. Everyone has a hoe phase, whatever.
Wow, that's great. So people that have extended 304 phases, I can't judge them either, right? So this is crazy. Everybody has a 304 phase, and you obviously shouldn't judge them because we can't even judge the people who have extended 304 phases. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
When I was younger, I would play the role of the cool girl because I thought it would make me seem crazy or clingy to be like, yeah, I want monogamy or a relationship or whatever. Literally, I would feel uncomfortable or like it was wrong to bring this kind of conversation up to a dude that I was seeing for months at a time. Yet I was comfortable doing everything else with him. Make it make sense.
So I'll make it make sense for you. You didn't want to bring it up with him because you knew he would ditch you. And this is what women do, guys, especially through their 20s through to their 30s. They will chase these men. They will do all of these fun activities together, quote unquote, right? They will go out there, they'll have their bedroom fun, and they won't bring up the relationship talk because they know the man won't give them one anyway. So they decide to be Chad's plaything 9 months at a time, 10 months at a time, and then cry and complain that they didn't get a relationship at the end of it. And then when they get to 30, all of the other men who they completely ignored for that entire time, they're supposed to just go, we'll take you in for a relationship, we'll look after you, we don't really care about your past, because these women will claim that we're not allowed to make judgments.
I felt like I could never ask for those things because in today's society, it almost makes us feel like it's wrong to. I was like literally allowing treatment I was uncomfortable with because I felt like it wasn't my place to put my foot down or speak up about what I wanted from someone. Almost as if I was allowing a man to have more rights over my body than I had.
I'm a victim because I can't communicate what I want, because I refuse to communicate what I want. This is just ridiculous, man. This is like me going out here and then going into a restaurant, ordering the wrong food, and then complaining that I got the wrong food because I couldn't speak up and say what I really wanted. And then trying to complain to the restaurant that they mistreated me somehow, or tell everybody that I was mistreated. It's just absolute nonsense. No accountability whatsoever. No ability to actually say no. And I want to emphasize this, by the way. The reason these women do this is because they want to. They will claim that they're victims at the end of it, and oh, these bad boys just tricked them, and they ended up in situationships. But at the end of the day, they could say no. They just want to play it off like they had no ability to say no. Everybody knows that a woman like this, guys, while she's out here dating Chad, going through all of these different dudes, how many other men do you think she said no to? She would have said no to a lot over that time, but for some reason, guys, she can't say no because she's poor and defenseless when it comes to the man who's attractive.
I thought that was just normal. And honestly, it's my fault for allowing it too. But no,
Holy hell. Was that an ounce of accountability? My fault for allowing it too. We got one sentence of accountability. Props to this woman. That's more than we generally get.
And honestly, it's my fault for allowing it too. But no, I'm a human. I want to be loved just as much as anyone else does. And I know I deserve to be. Don't let a dude make you feel like you're crazy or make you think that you're asking for too much to ask for exclusivity. You're not crazy for wanting those things. It's normal. It's today's society that has brainwashed into thinking that it's abnormal.
Guys, it's just all of this brainwashing, and that's why I went from one dude to another for a whole decade of my life. I was just brainwashed and helpless.
It's the hookup culture. Hookup culture will make you feel lonelier than just having no one at all. For real. At this point, I'd rather just be celibate for the rest of my life than be going about my life pretending like I'm chill or this. Hookup culture is just a temporary way to get the validation that you're desirable by the opposite sex, or whatever your preference is, you know what I mean. It's a way to get that validation while still keeping them at arm's length so they don't have the opportunity to hurt you emotionally. It's a way to protect yourself. Maybe it's because you were burned in the past and now you're emotionally unavailable, or maybe you're protecting your ego from rejection because it's easy to find someone who just wants you for your body. But we're all scared of getting hurt, and the closer you get to someone, the more vulnerable you become.
This is a whole bunch of word salad and gobbledygook when you could just say the reason you don't bring it up is because your man will drop you. That's at the core of every single one of these women who date these men who complain about men not committing to them, right? The reason they don't bring up the whole relationship talk is because they know as soon as they do, the man's going to be like, I'm just going to move on to Stacy down the road, right? I'd rather go with some woman who's not going to put these stipulations on me, right? And you can say whether that's wrong or not, that's right, that's good, that's bad. I personally think it's a bad idea, right? This hookup culture, I don't think it's good for anybody, but the women certainly accept it, right? You could just say no. You could go with a man who would actually give you a relationship, but he's boring. He's not that interested. Guys, I think we will leave today's episode there. Perhaps we will cover this woman right here in a future episode who is also complaining about situationships, as they all do. But guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.